Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. My name is Joel, and this is A Stable Life. I hope you guys are excited and happy because it is a beautiful, crazy rainy day here. We're expecting some crazy temperature changes, as high as 70 and as low as 30, with a real feel of 11 degrees. So it's gonna be an interesting one taking care of the horses. And it's gonna be a windy one. The rain is supposed to stop about halfway through the day, and it's expected that we'll have some time to do some fence repairs today. That all depends on the rain though, of course, because we don't wanna be out fixing fence in the rain unless we absolutely have to, which of course depends on how bad the fence is. But before we get to all of that, we need to get started getting these horses in the barn. We need to see how they're doing, and we need to keep our eyes open to how the weather feels today. With the temperature being up and down, there may be some crazy blanket changes happening today. Also, guys, I wanted to show you some crazy yo-yo footage because one of you sent Gavin a yo-yo.
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
As you guys can see, Gavin is a yo-yo master. So you guys might be seeing Gavin practice yo-yoing randomly through here today.
It's my first time yo-yoing, so don't judge me.
And today is a Saturday, which is usually when Gavin is not with us. On Saturdays, usually it's just you and me, guys. But because we're fixing fence, Gavin had the opportunity to be able to help us today, which is exciting. So let's get started feeding horses and see where the day takes us. Well, now that we got all the grain and hay in the stalls, we can let them in. You guys know the drill. Of course, that means starting things off with the donkeys. Good morning, Buster. Good morning, Rocky. There you go, boys. Morning, Poncho. All right. Of course, we're gonna get them some hay here in a little bit, but we need to let the rest of the horses in first. Look at them out there. They're all waiting to come in. Okay, next up is Poncho. Go ahead on in, Poncho. Some grain for Tucker. While we were measuring out, it poured outside, and now it's slowed down again. Weird things today, weird things. Yeah, good morning, Roni. You guys notice Roni's pretty much the first to come in all the time now? Hey, Jack. Hey, William. Hey, Champ. Casino. Rebel. George. Good to see you guys. I don't know if you guys can tell, but there's definitely a green tint to everything. Pretty nice spring day, if you ask me. There's a little bit of hay in the aisleways, but boy, do they still look nice and clean. Looks like Declan's got a loose strap. Morning, Danny. Morning, Suede. Morning, Duke. Hey, Spitfire. Hey, Declan. Archer. Obi. Skywalker. Sriracha. Gavin. Argento. Weather. Tucker. Samson. And Docs. Well, it definitely looks wet out there. See, the birds are actively making nests. Craziness everywhere. But the one thing I'm noticing, guys, is just how green that grass is looking. That's what we like to see. On a happy note, temperature is getting very warm. Right now it's like nearing 60, and the high for the day is almost 70 degrees. There's a cold front coming in, but we don't know exactly when it's supposed to hit. They're calling for crazy winds as that front approaches in the evening time, but during the day it's supposed to pretty much be like this. So we're thinking that we're gonna have to take all the blankets off the horses and then put all the blankets back on the horses, which is fun stuff. Thankfully, I do have Gavin, so together both of us can kind of knock things out as we go along the line. So we'll just get started together and get these blankets off the horses. Wow. All right, so we're gonna be starting things off with Sriracha, who gets a little bit of extra care. We're gonna be spraying Bannex on his legs. This just helps when things are wet with his skin, since they're calling for some crazy weather today. We just want to make sure that Sriracha's getting the best care that he could get and no extra problems are occurring because of the weather. Now, I've showed you guys a couple times about this, but here we go again. So to start, you're going to undo the two belly straps, and then you're going to undo the two tail straps. Of course, being mindful of the type of horse you're working with. Usually it's best to talk to them as you're doing something like this. If you're just sitting in there quietly, sometimes doing something could startle them. And then we pull it over the head, just like that, leaving a nice naked horse. Right, Sriracha? So we'll be rinsing and repeating this 23 times, and then for the afternoon, we're gonna be taking those same blankets and putting them back on the horses because of the crazy weather tonight. We're gonna keep doing this with the rest of these guys. I'll see you guys once we got this wrapped up. Alrighty, we got all the horses taken care of in the mid barn. With Gavin and I working on it together, we were able to get all the horses taken care of really quick. All we have left now is Tucker and the miniature donkeys. And it's definitely warm enough that we can get these windows opened up. Hey guys. Hey Tucker, hey Gavin. How's it going in here?
It's going good.
Hey Buster. There you go. Over the big ears. And we're set, Buster. Good boy. You're okay. Good boy. Good boy. You're okay. Good boy, Robert. Good boy. There we go. Nice job, guys. Thank you, Gavin. That takes that off the list. Next up is food for him, right? You're something else, huh? Oh, my word. If you guys have never been hugged by a miniature donkey, let me just tell you, it's pretty great. Gavin, thank you so much for all the help with the horses, but I do have some bad news.
Oh no, Joel, what is it?
You know that four-wheeler that you got really clean and looking beautiful?
What'd you do to it?
Well, nothing yet, but we're gonna have to take it out there, which means it's not gonna be clean anymore.
If we drive it really, really carefully, we'll be fine.
So Gavin, I also have some good news.
What's that?
Take a look at the tractor. We're actually not gonna be using this tractor for taking hay out anymore. For one thing, as you guys can see, it is nice and clean. It's all fully greased and taken care of. It's sold. Believe it or not, guys, this tractor is sold because I actually got a new tractor. What tractor did I get?
You'll have to wait and find out later. So make sure you're subscribed and have the notifications turned on.
Oh yeah, that's right, because that's gonna be a fun video to make. But until that point, this tractor is gonna be sitting pretty in here, taken care of. We will have to do just a few things to it to get it ready for us to take it. This tractor is no longer gonna be used for taking hay out. In the meantime, I'm gonna be using the Veggie Boys skid steer.
Which is where we're headed to now.
Leia, it's up to you if you wanna go for a run with us, okay? So, since it's nice and warm out today, Gavin, are you excited for spring?
A little bit. Not as much for the insects though.
Yeah, that's true. This is one of the few days where it's gonna be in the 70s and we won't have to worry about bugs.
I like that.
Hi, honey. I love you. You think she heard me?
I think she did.
Oh, yeah. Come on, Spitz. All right, Gavin, this is my stop. Would you be able to take the viewers and see how things are looking down in the pastures?
Absolutely. Let's go. So we're here at the first round bale feeder in the middle field, and as you can see, it is completely empty, except for that bit of twine, which we're gonna be taking. Now we're over in the big field at the second round bale feeder. We've got quite a bit more hay in here, and for the most part, it stayed dry. We still have some twine in here, so we're gonna cut it up and take it out.
Can I help you? All right, we just finished up getting hay taken out, so now it's time to head on back to the stable. Let's ride, Gavin.
Go on, get back to the stable.
Well, now the quad's got a little bit more room to park. As for the tractor, Gavin did an awesome job cleaning it up. Man, does it look nice and clean, nice and good. This thing's been an amazing workhorse for our stable, and I sure am gonna miss it. Well, let's let out the horses. Just before we get all the horses let out, we gotta get some food in for the donkeys. There you go, boys. All right, well, you guys really loved that time lapse where I just put some audio over top of what's going on with the horses being let out. So we're gonna put you in a different spot, let out some horses, and I hope you guys enjoy the sights and sounds of Sunny Knoll Stables. Well guys, the hoodie's off and it is getting warmer by the minute. And my goodness, is it beautiful out. If you take a look down there, you can see that the middle pasture is almost entirely just eating hay, while the big field, about 6 horses are eating hay, and the rest of them are eating grass, right along with the cattle. And that's what we like to see. As we're getting into these warmer months, with us now being in April, getting closer to May, we're getting closer to hay season, and the closer we get to hay season, the better the grass grows.
The better the grass grows, the less hay we use.
And that is always a good thing to have. All right, Gavin and I got some water and a little bit of a snack. Now it's time to fix some fence. And since we're fixing fence, we're gonna need a side-by-side. Looks like the veggie boys are really coming through for us today on equipment. Brian, Andrew, thank you so much, guys. You're helping us out a lot. All right, you ready to head out?
Yes, sir.
We're in the big field right now, guys, heading on over to where we know that there's a problem with one of the fence lines. See how much we get done and how much we've got to get done yet. This is usually something that we need to work on just about every spring. We're here, quite a long ways away from the stable, that's for sure. Oh guys, this is the problem that we have here. It appears that we've gotten some bushes that grew up and kind of are pulling this fence right on over, and some deer have jumped and broke the board off. So temporarily, I put this board like this to kind of hold the fence up so the horses don't try to walk through it, but if a horse wanted to jump it, they certainly could. What we're gonna need to do is cut all of these bushes out of the fence line, brace this post, reconnect a new board along the top, and fasten the wire to that board. That's why we got some special tools. Since we're gonna be working so close to the ground and in the dirt, as well as near metal, we didn't think a chainsaw would be appropriate. So what we're gonna be using is a battery operated Sawzall. We tend to find that this works really good for cutting up stuff like this. And we have 2 batteries, so we should be more than capable of getting the job done. Well, after a lot of pulling and yanking and cutting, we got that bush off the fence. So now we're just about at the point, got a little bit to clear off on this other side, but we're just about ready to start fixing it. So we're gonna have to take another post to get this straight and connect it on the side here so that it's supported. Get that off, and then get our next board on. Go your way a bit, hold it right there. How's it look on that side? Pretty good. All right, Gavin, let's give it the old bull test. I'd say that's not going anywhere. Good deal. All we need to do now is just fasten this up to the top. The wire was pretty mangled from the deer jumping over it, and these posts are just about at the end of their life, but the horses that we have here will not try to go through a fence so long as it looks solid, which is actually something quite handy with keeping them in the pasture. Now, they will only go out if it looks absolutely wide open and easy for them to get out. Otherwise, we really don't have any issues with the horses getting out, because they have so much ground to roam inside here, they don't feel the need to try to get out of the pasture. So Gavin, how did you feel about taking out those rose bushes?
I felt kind of worried at first till I remembered I had gloves, so it'd be easier.
Yeah, him and I worked together quite well. I cut them off at the bottom, and then as I cut them, he grabbed them and pulled them off my back and out of the way and ripped them out of the fence line. So good job, Gavin. This job is done. I also just wanted to point out that the horses are eating grass. They've noticed us over here, so they're just staying on that side. And Leia's keeping watch over everything. And it looks like we're heading back just in time too, because I just got called from the wife and she says she's hungry. So Leia, let's head on back. And Andrew, thank you so much for letting us use your side-by-side. This thing came in mighty handy. Now we're back with lunch.
Now it's time to eat it.
Let's see if we could see any of the horses out in the field today. You guys see anybody? I see them all eating hay. I don't see them all eating grass. With sun like this and temperatures like this though, the grass surely is growing. Well guys, I've got some good news. Everything's taken care of and we're back at the stable getting started on afternoon feeding. Looks like you're getting the hang of that. Are you getting some practice in?
Yep, I gotta practice for the tournament.
Well, the horses heard us putting grain in the stalls, and there's a couple that's already ready to be let in. Oh, Buster, Rocky, man, you guys are something else. Look at you. Woo-wee. There you go, boys. You guys ready to come on in? Huh? Yeah, what do you think, Fire? My goodness, it is gorgeous out today, guys. Well, they all went right in right away. Suede and Tucker and Argento are making their way up. Slowly but surely. Hey, Tucker. Argento, nice of you to join us. All right, what do you guys think? Do you think he's gonna try to go into William's stall, or do you think he's gonna be good? And shocker, Argento decided to be bad. Man, what a shocker that was for all of us, huh? Come on, RJ. Yep, come on. There you go. Well, for all of you that guessed Argento was going to be bad, good job. You were right. Gavin already has the door open for the horses to come on in. And there's no horses here. Everybody's out enjoying the pasture. Looks like we've got one sleeping, 2 are grazing, just a few are eating hay, which is really nice to see. Isn't it, Gavin?
Yeah.
Come on, boys! Let's go! Time to eat! After Gavin and I studying the weather and new yo-yo moves, we've realized that we've come up with a strategy for how we're going to be taking care of the horses with the upcoming weather changes. Currently, as you guys can see, it is sunny and beautiful. But what you're not feeling is the breeze, which we're feeling at about 10 miles an hour, and it is constant. So I'm going to call it a 10 mile an hour wind. They're calling for winds to be up to 20 to 30 miles an hour tonight until about 2 a.m.
And 60 mile an hour gusts.
And the temperature's dropping about 40 degrees during that period.
As well as a thunderstorm moving through about 5 p.m.
So with all of that in mind, we are going to be re-blanketing the horses with the exact blankets we took off them this morning, just so they are set, so that when the rain moves through and the temperatures go down, the horses are fine. And the blankets will keep them warm and dry through that period. And before then and after then, they aren't stuck in the barn. So it's a win-win for them. Does mean a little bit more extra work for us, but it's worth it because the horses would rather be out in that pasture than in the barn.
So let's get started. You're a good horse, Tucker. So you saw earlier how a blanket is taken off a horse. Now we're gonna see how a blanket is put on a horse. And we're using Tucker. Hey Tucker, how you doing? It's still nice and wet. There you go. You go right over the head and you pull it all the way down. And it's getting stuck. Nice. There we go. It's on now, which means we're done. Except for the straps. How could I forget the straps? So we're gonna reach over the other side. Take this left strap, make an X over this way, then reach under it, grab the right strap, and finish the X that way. Then next you're gonna take this strap right here, feed it through his legs, behind his tail, and up to hook on right here. And then just the same thing for the other side over here. And now it's time for the donkeys. Now with the donkeys, there's one extra step before putting the blankets on, and that's getting them in their stall and closing the door so they can't run away from me when I try to do it, because that'll just make everything a whole lot harder. We're gonna start with Rocky, mainly because Rocky's blanket was on top of Buster's, so it'll just be easier. Although Buster seems very willing to get started first. There you go. See, that wasn't so bad, Rocky. Their blankets are a little different. They have a little strap that goes just from one side of on the back to the other side of the back instead of an X between their legs. Probably because they're so small. Now we open the door and let them free. Right, good boy, Rocky. He's actually letting me hug him. That's pretty crazy.
Since Gavin got Tucker and the donkeys taken care of, and together we worked on getting the barn all done, we have all the horses re-blanketed. Now we need to get them back out of the barn as fast as possible. Otherwise, they're gonna be grumpy. And of course, we're gonna be starting things off with Tucker. All the horses are out and they're all rolling immediately. And we can see the winds really picking things up too. So with all the horses out, that means we're done with feeding.
You know what that means?
Packages. We have more packages from Amazon that you guys sent us, so let's get started. Sending some thank yous out to you. Starting things off with some Equimax from David. David, thank you so much. We mentioned in our last video, but we're gonna be doing a whole video just about deworming our horses, so stay tuned.
Thank you, Linda, for the MTG.
We have 2 gift cards from Sarah. Sarah, thank you so much. This was very generous of you.
We got 4 Equimax from Karen. Thank you, Karen.
We've got some more MTG from Lisa. Lisa, I'm glad you enjoyed the videos. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the Banix and the Mud Shield powder.
The Sand Clear.
And the Equimax, Lisa. We really appreciate it. This was very generous of you. So on behalf of all of us here at A Stable Life, thank you. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. It was really fun being able to have Gavin help us out with fixing the fence, getting the horses in. We hear the rain has just about got here, so we're gonna wrap things up. Thanks for watching. If you haven't,
Be sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell.
And as always,
we'll see you in the next one.